Hey guys, Andrew here with DrewFit. I want to thank you for tuning in. Today's video going to be sharing with you, in my opinion, the top reasons for hormonal imbalances or just having an unhealthy thyroid. Those really go hand in hand. So if you are somebody struggling with hormonal imbalances, I would highly suggest looking at the functionality of your thyroid. Are you producing enough T3, T4? Is your TSH too high? Things like that. So it's a good starting point to look at when you're trying to improve your overall health. So I'm going to shed some light on 7 topics here that I listed down, and don't mind me if I'm looking away. I have a lot of notes here, but I'll try to make it as simple as possible for you guys. So let's jump right into it. Number 1, this one's pretty obvious. Food choices, your food supply, and over and under eating calories can really impact your hormonal health. For me, in my past, I was generally in a pretty strict diet that was under eating a lot of calories because I was trying to maintain a certain level of body fat, not knowing that later on down the road that would have me running into certain hormonal issues, which led to a plethora of other issues like poor sleep, lack of motivation, things like that. So that's beside the point. So food choices, one of the issues here is there's a big push, in my opinion, for having meat and milk alternatives. I think those 2 foods alone, if you're getting good sources of red meat and good sources of dairy, those are some of the best foods that you can be eating from a nutrition standpoint. And there's been a push, like I said, to kind of flip the narrative, say those things are unhealthy for you, but this alternative made from soy, whatever it's made of, plant-based, whatever, is a better option. I completely disagree with that. I think there's plenty of studies and research to show that. Some of the things you're going to find in those alternative foods are going to be soy, plant-based, like I was saying, and a lot of the times you're going to be missing a lot of key nutrients. Another thing to look at is water, tap water especially. And this varies from state to state, but tap water, in my opinion, if you can avoid it at all costs, do not drink it. Try not to bathe in it and avoid it as much as you can. Get yourself a high quality water filter. Personally, I like to drink distilled water. Reverse osmosis is fantastic, or even spring water is going to be a better choice. Now, alcohol, marijuana, and tobacco, these things can definitely impact your hormonal health. I'm not saying one's better than the other or one's worse than the other. I think they can all be used beneficially, and I think they can also be used to be a detriment to your health. So be smart about it. Don't overdo it. Don't become reliant on any of these things, and be safe when you're using them. And another thing with our food supply that's going to be downregulating a lot of hormones is just the way our food agricultural system in America is ran, and just the world overall, with the pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. Those are really big gut disruptors. When you start eating foods that are heavily sprayed, those are going to affect the health of your gut and then lead to many downstream effects, hormonal issues being one of those. Now, number 2, medications. I'm not going to dive into any specific medication, but I think it's pretty common knowledge that medications do come with a lot of side effects. It doesn't take a genius to know that. You can just watch a commercial on whatever medicine's being peddled that it comes with this, that, and the other side effect that could potentially be damaging. So one I'll talk about, because I personally took, was finasteride, the hair loss drug. That one actually downregulates DHT. So if you're a male looking to optimize your hormonal health, stay away from the hair loss drug finasteride. Number 3, stress and lack of resilience. So stress in life is going to be inevitable. So building up a good resilience, or knowing when to kind of tap out on certain things, or if you're just punching in the clock at work, you got to know when to take a step back and when it's going to start affecting your health. That should go without saying. Stress is probably the absolute worst thing for just your overall health, but hormones in specific. What did I note here? There's many sources of stress: work, relationships, over-exercising, trauma, etc. Lack of practices and boundaries lead to stress becoming negatively impactful. So you got to set yourself up for success in life, whether it's relationships or work. You got to have boundaries on how far you will push the limit until you say, you know what, this is just not good for my health, and it's not going to be good for people around me. So set healthy boundaries, enforce those boundaries, and pay attention to the stress levels in your life. Number 4, exposure to chemicals constantly. This one's a hard one to avoid, but some of the chemicals I'm referring to are fragrances, cleaning products, soaps, air pollution. If you work on like a golf course, the amount of chemicals they spray on a golf course is absolutely disgusting. Many endocrine disruptors. Drinking out of plastic cups, eating out of plastic Tupperware, putting them in the microwave. There's tons of chemicals that are really bad endocrine disruptors, and that could be a big source for a lot of people, just from taking a shower, using the soaps that you use, using the lotions that you use, spraying cologne on your body, deodorants. All this stuff really gets absorbed through your skin, so you want to pay attention to that and always opt for the cleaner sources if possible. Number 5, this one goes without saying, lack of quality of sleep. You want quality sleep from the hours of either 9 p.m. to about 6 to 7 a.m. Probably get 7 to 8 hours between that time frame, and create healthy sleeping habits. That's going to be one of the biggest impacts for not just your hormonal health, but just overall health in general. Number 6, too much mental stimulation, exhausting the brain. This one gets often overlooked because it's such common place to have a phone in your hand, have a tablet in your hand, be on the laptop, and constantly scrolling on things, whether it's your email, social media, watching shows. The brain is really getting no chance to be bored, get some rest throughout the day. You rewind the clock 20, 30 years ago, before technology was so heavy in our lives, and you'll find yourselves being bored constantly, and actually becoming more creative because you want to do something with the time that you have. So like I said, this gets often overlooked. The mental stimulation is higher than it's ever been, in my opinion, whether it's on your phone, like I say, in social media, scrolling, games, etc. You can use those things, just be aware of how often you're using them, and again, set healthy boundaries for yourself. And last but not least, artificial light and not getting enough sun exposure. This one is often overlooked by people as well. I noted here, depending on the type of light you are exposed to, it can have direct impact on certain hormones. The human biology operates best when exposed to the sun at all times of the day for a brief amount of time. Now, you don't need to live out in the sun, and if you're somebody that has fair skin and can't handle the sun that well, obviously you're going to want to take steps to build up your solar callus to where you can handle hours and hours in the sun. Me personally, I've always been able to do good in the sun. I can work out all day from sunrise to sunset, but it takes time through the years. In my opinion, you want to see as much of the sun throughout the day as you can. Sunrise, middle of the day, sunset. Just try to get in there 10 to 15 minutes at each setting, and then gradually work up from there. And it's going to have major impact on the health of your hormones. And try to avoid artificial light, especially when the sun is not out. This is shown to affect melatonin levels, vitamin D levels, things like that. So be aware of your light environment, and take a lot of these things into consideration. Again, don't become neurotic, because that is a form of stress in itself, and you don't want to stress yourself out over something stupid. So I hope these tips help you guys, and if you have any questions or comments, drop them below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, guys.